It's gonna be a reaction music video for Dear England from lowkey. Let's go. And sorry if I this video was requested of somebody, and sorry I forget your name. Man, this video is So let's go. I just want to say, my Kylie have a very beautiful voice, and if ever Destiny's Child are gonna make a new group, make a group again, she is a perfect choice for them. She is so good voice, and it's like only one I can think of who can maybe, compared to her in the voice, is maybe Beyonce, maybe. And so one thing is really nice. It should be really nice to see if Miley, Kylie and Beyonce do a song album together. She's so beautiful voice. Yeah, let's continue the song.
Save the queen, Britannia rules the waves. Britannia's in my genes, but Britannia ruled our slaves. Britannia.
And yeah, there is exactly one thing in the song where it said Britannia rules the wave and rules the globe, and that's also true. For when Britannia was a big empire I think it was 19 or 18, I can be wrong now, 19th century. Queen Victoria was a big empire, always from South Africa to India, and lots of the subjects the empire have under them, like the Sikhs and other Indian people, especially the Sikhs. The Sikhs fight for the English army in World War I, World War II, and they also have the Gurkhas, some fight against the Japanese. And the interesting thing in here is lots of many different culture, like from around the globe, come to England to make England what it is today. Like really like many times when you have colonies, like empires have colonies, always you have a colony is because the resources like the salt in India and diamonds, like in Golconda. In South Africa, also some minerals, and always you have it because of you find your own resources for your own country. You always want more things to make your cars go faster, your train, or your and like rubber you want for your bicycles or cars, or your tanks. Lots of these things, and about the song. And about the song is when people from big colony like empires treat other humans as almost not human, like in like slave trade in Caribbean, like you make other people work for you really unhuman, really hard work, and you take all the glory for it. Like you take you take all the glory for it, and you make everybody as a slave for your empire was never recognized. Like if you really remember, you have to remember how if like one example now I simplify it. One example is if the Sikhs never joined the British Army, was never in the British Army, maybe the British Army will never succeed as they do without the Sikhs. Maybe they're gonna fail the Second World War, or they in the jungle they have no the Gurkhas in Borneo or Nepal. And another thing we have to question is the British Empire. Is the reason why they are succeeding so long is because of the other people, so they work for them. Like is why the reason why they build a empire, because of their culture. And British Empire, very big culture because of every different nationality, like in Africa, India, Caribbean, and so on. Lots and different country. And other example is many people when they talk about Britannia, they really see very good things about it. Like in the time of history, they see the colonial powers, and we have to remember is like in World War II with Churchill, Hitler, Stalin, and so on. Like we have to remember at all the times that Hitler was a horrible person, but we always have to remember that Churchill was not a good person either. He also one example he say, I think it was he battled in Gallipoli, or I can be wrong, when he say that it's okay to use chemical weapons against savage people. What he say. So when many people forget that, many people forget Churchill. They always see Churchill as a good person, and that is in reality, good and bad not really exist in history. Like you always want to protect your country's resources. You always want the best for your country when you are a parliament or government or president or a dictatorship or a monarchy. So this reaction for this song, Dear England, is just to point out we are not allowed to forget what really happened in the world. We have not allowed to forget. We really need to understand why. Like today, like Brexit is example. One example with Brexit, the British want to split themselves from EU Union because they want to live their own way. They want their own power, and that is not good. If you don't take any help from other country, how can you succeed in the end? If you just want to protect your own country, and you don't want to help other, or you want not get any help, it's gonna be like a total plane crash in the end. And so that is one part of it. All of the song is about how England are treating people, and they try to brush it under the rug and forget it. And that is very sad and stupid. That people really need to understand. So when like all big powers do bad things, like big colonies, empires, not only England but China, Japan, Germany, Russia, and like America. All of the big empire, always treat other people they conquer as lesser human, and it's nothing about skin color. It's nothing about that. It's just about if you have conquered a country, and you can be same skin color and just have more weapons and so on. Yeah, let's continue with the song.
Cause Britannia's forces came, Britannia lit the match, but Britannia fears the flame, where blood stains the pavement, tears stain the cheek, when privilege is threatened, the fear reigns supreme, where bankers are earning from burning and looting, the nervous are shooting, search for solutions. I shed a tear for the father in Birmingham, quick swerve of the car and it murdered him. In Tottenham the apartments were burning and nobody came, just arson and circling, all wanna be down, till TVs get robbed like jewels in the Queen's crown. They see now, no thought for a rebound, see now they call me a fool.
And here also he said a very interesting thing. They call them robbers when the Queen have the diamonds in her crown, and that is a very interesting question. Is you can call a normal person a robber or a bandit if he's still from a bank or is still like in the store, but if you are a monarchy still diamonds, like expensive diamonds, like Koh-i-Noor, and they kill people for force them to force slavery to take out the diamonds from the caves. So this very interesting thing so you can blame other people for criminality, but you cannot when a monarchy do a criminal act against other people. That is okay, and that is a very strange thing, and so. But yeah, so this very strange thing, and yeah, let's continue.
People are humans, not mindless animals. This violent, tyrannical system is fallible. Hand in the loot at the minute you see him, but the biggest looters are the British Museum. This happened here, and you think it's an accident.
Yeah, exactly. I also say the biggest loot, as a biggest robbery, is in the British Museum, and that is a question: how many things do museum have about like ancient script, sword, like weapon, diamonds, like ancient things? How many things do they was allowed to get from the country, or how many things have they just taken with force? Like one example is now I can be wrong. I can be say wrong country now, but like in Nigeria, in the Benin culture, lots of the like bronze sculptures was taken, and lots of things from Africa. Many things, special ceremonial things, was taken, and many people. The question is how many things was in the museum. Was the museum allowed to take with them, or how many things they steal? That's a very interesting question, and that is to point out that the British Museum is a big museum in England, and maybe one of the most culturally museum in the world. One of them, and I have been in the museum. It's a big museum with lots of the Rosetta Stone, the Celtic. There's lots of those sort of things, different things like Chinese, like from around the globe. And a question here is, how many things do the British Empire was allowed to take with them, and so on. Yeah, let's continue with song.
Just relax so we slip into fascism, and the fear gets drilled into your hearts. But remember, these children are all ours.
And here also interesting, when he talk about a policeman can kill a black man, when I think what he means with that is in lots of places, in poor places in the world, like or in England, the police officers are more common to use violence because of their lack of understanding things. Like lots of things, if you are very stressed or you have a like, I don't say, I know like I said, anything is horrible when you do, but when a police officer attack a person from other culture or other color is always bad, and the question is, the police officer don't need to be a racist person, but the system is maybe a racist. So you have to understand, a police officer, how can I say it? If a police officer are home, they maybe think a different way. But if a police officer is on his work, maybe he is a different person. So maybe it's a two different thing. Like one thing is the system. The system tell him you have to react this way and this way, and the policeman follow the system as a slave, and he makes the gun call, or he make like this thing. So policemen, when they use force against different minorities, they almost, some of them are racist. Of course, some of them are racist, but I think more is about systematic racism. I think there's more like a system to make them forced to be racist in the system, and so the very important thing when I say here now, I don't say every police officer is a racist, absolutely not, but I say the system is a very big part of the racism system, because of how they want to control. And it's not, if like we can also say it like this: if you are a poor person, you have lesser right in the system, because the system wants money. If you're in a courtroom, the person with the more money can get a better lawyer, and they have nothing to do if you are white, black, brown, and Asian or Hispanic. It have nothing to do with that. The only thing that's important here is the money. So if you're a poor person, you can be a white poor person, and the police officer can be a black police officer, and so on. And it's not about anything skin color. It's about how, if you're poor, if your people are not poor, like then I mean really poor, they're always going to be treated lesser of the system and rich people. So that is important thing. So I understand that he take black person was killed a policeman, but I think more to use the way to differentiate about the economy, and cause race is also important in it all. Of course, more people can get better work are white because of the systems, but let's continue on.
Kill an Afghan in the mountains, a petty thief can get ransacked from his housing while the bankers are lounging. That's my surroundings. Took land no one in your family has heard of. Before you sleep, whisper the mantra you learn, cause never will there be a day the cameras are turned off.
I also he say about the banks. The banks can do robbery, and the banks can do what they want, and that is very interesting. Also in the song about lots of like a big rank criminal are using the banks, like using the banking, especially get the money from the bank, and they don't. So lots of things. So if you are a politician, like one example, if you're a politician, you can you take money, and how nobody can blame you for it. You can take lots of money and escape with it, but if a normal person takes a lot of money from the bank, they're gonna go to jail. immediately. But if you are a politician, or if you take money in a special way, I don't mean you run in the house and you take the big bag on your back and run off with all the money. I mean, they use a special system to take the money, and they steal the money, but they steal the money this way that make people feel that the system think they have never steal the money, and that is a very interesting thing. So he say with the bankers, and so if a banker can take money, but they steal money. But when they steal money, it's a different thing in the system, and that's a very strange thing. So of course, if you're a normal person, you are a robber. If you're a banker, you steal the money. But the system, don't think you make the stealing. For you are a banker, you hire a person, and a higher person cannot be a criminal. And that what the system say. This is not what I say. That is what the system say. If you are a higher rank, like if you're monarchy, or you cannot be a criminal. It's very strange. Yeah.
Who runs this country, Cameron or Murdoch? Or is the government a government that can't govern? Can't you figure it's way bigger than Mark Duggan, bigger than Smiley, bigger than John Charles? Hundreds are dead, not one killer is on trial. Just a familiar sound of hysteria. Bombs over Libya, but not this area. Downing Street, I can find villains. Cut education, privatise prisons. Surprised by theft when it's organised, but mass morality is normalised. Assumptions surrounding the looting of London, but this is a system consumed by consumption. It happened here when you think it's an accident. Just relax and we slip with the fascism, and the fear gets drilled into your...
And also when they slip first into fascism, and when many people think fascism, they think about Germany, and we also have to understand in lots of things what the Britannia Empire do when they kill civilians in India, or they take slaves in Caribbean. The also was an important thing. Lots of the monies the slave traders have from Caribbean, they build lots of big houses in England with all the money from all of the slaves, like from the sugar plantation or silver mines. So lots of these things, the high up British people, like the rich people in Britannia, all the rich people, not all of them, but a big percent of them, like the ancestors was slave traders and have colonies for all the money and slaves, and so on. And the other thing is Britannia, Britannia was the reason Britannia is the way it is today is because of all the different nationality and the English, like the Anglo-Saxons and Indian or Africans. There's a reason why England is so big in culture. It's because different people, different food, different music, different history, and so on. So if England just wants to be England, it's going to be a totally flat country. It's totally going to be no culture left. Like this is like all things like going to disappear. So like of course all things have criminality in it, of course, because if you treat different people as less human, and you give them lesser studies in school, of course they're gonna go to a criminal life. If you separate people, if you put them in poor places, in ghettos and so on, of course people are gonna use other way to get money. But if you give them better education in school and so on, they're gonna the people gonna learn good, and they're gonna make better work and so on. And so everything in the song is about how England rule empires, and how they think about different people, and how they justify their own way to kill these people, because they think that it was okay for them to do because they was belonged to a big empire, and that is not is totally wrong to think that way. And lots of people think that still today. If you are belong to, many people want to belong to a big empire, because if you belong to a big empire, you think yourself as a powerful person. And yeah, that's not only England. There's lots of other countries think that way. And yeah, so yeah, let's continue.
Hearts, but remember these children are all ours. Possibly happen again. You know why it will? Because the government that we've got in this country at the moment and the ones that we had in the past will not listen. Do you know why they won't listen? Because they don't live and breathe this.
And that is exactly also the man saying in the end. The reason why the government don't want to listen is because they don't live the way that these people live in England, as in the, like one example, in the burning tower in the Grenfell. And a lot of the thing is the government don't really care about this kind of people, because they are not this kind of people. They live in mansions, so they have cars, they have big houses, and they never suffer. They never suffer the way as poor people do. They really have no clear water, nor electricity in the house, or nothing. And lots of the thing, many of the higher people are rich. Like many politicians are rich people. Like a high politician is, I don't know how much money, but they have like money, and lots of the money they have is because they have the poor people suffer for that. For all the money they should have are gone. And yeah, so that is thing is very exactly. The politicians never understand other people, because they have never been as this kind of people. They have never been in a place with how poor people live. They have never almost starved to death. All politicians, yeah. So that's what I think very interesting, nice thing to say is, of course, the politicians will never understand people, for they never live the way these people live. Yeah. This was my reaction for Lowkey, Dear England, and yeah, let's finish it. Yeah.
Their kids don't live and breathe this, and that's the biggest problem. If they lived and breathed this, they'd be different.